moments that will define us if we let them. And they may come in the way of an inspiring comment that lifts us to a higher level. It might be a concept that we catch that changes our perspective, changes our direction. Then there are times where everything changes. It's like life stands still and we know that life's not going to be the same anymore. I had that moment as I was standing by my husband holding his hand when he breathed his last breath. I was in the hospital with him. I was overcome by the beeping of the monitors and the dripping of the IV tubes and the hospital smell. When I looked out the door and I saw the nurses station, and there were nurses out there, and they were talking and they were laughing. And it struck me that my world just ended and theirs hadn't. And it felt impossible leaving the room because it meant it was real. It meant that my husband, my best friend, my son's dad was really gone. Life as I knew it was over, and I couldn't even imagine what our future looked like. But it was in that moment, that defining moment, that I made a decision. And the decision was that my son, almost 2 years old, wasn't going to lose both of his parents at night. He wasn't going to lose his dad to death and then lose me to despair. I didn't know the how, but I knew the why. I was going to be a present and engaged mom, and my son was going to get to live a full and a happy life. I was willing to rebuild everything from scratch in order to make that happen, and every decision I made thereafter aligned with that purpose. It's why I started my company, an insurance company, not because I wanted to be in business. It's just that I had been working as a receptionist for an insurance company as a way to pay for college. When I graduated, they relocated me to Utah. I met David my first night in town in Utah at a Bible study that met in an old mechanic's garage. And he was so interesting to me. He was gregarious, he was bold, he was fun, and he was quickly being sought after as a speaker and a minister. Now, David was tall and handsome, but if you rolled up his sleeves, you saw that he had prison tattoos and he had scars. You could tell he'd had a violent past. David and I became fast friends. We were married within a few months, and we had Johnny a few years after that. See, here's the thing, is that David had been an outlaw biker, and he'd ridden with outlaw bikers. He had been in prison more than once. But see, by the time I met him, those tattoos, they no longer defined him. David and I, we shared the same purpose. We loved people, and we wanted to go places that other people weren't willing to go and reach people that other people considered unreachable. And we believed that we'd been divinely connected to live a life of purpose together. And then everything changed. I take David to the emergency room thinking that he'd pulled a muscle, to find out that he's got advanced stage bone and lung cancer. And the doctor gave us no hope. He sent us home basically saying, you don't have much time, get your house in order. Our friends, they surrounded us, they encouraged us every day. We fought the good fight of faith. We did everything we could to walk in hope. But 8 months later, David was gone. And it was a tough time. It was like when you go through times like that, you just get to the core principles of life where you're just leaning into God and hoping that He gets you through each day and the next day. It was tough. During that time, I realized that my job just wasn't able to support the decision that I'd made in the hospital. It just didn't have the ability to provide the finances or the freedom of time to be that present, engaged mom, to give Johnny the life that I wanted to give him. So I quit my job. I had a plan. I'm going to build a company, and I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to sell it for millions of dollars. And that's exactly what I did. I was a single mom. I didn't have a business degree, had never taken an accounting class, and had little in the way of finances. It was an unlikely path for someone with my lack of credentials. But see, I understood a few things. I understood that success came as a result of following timeless principles and irrefutable and timeless laws. That my success didn't rely entirely on me, but it was going to rely on first and foremost my relationship with God, and second of all, on the relationships that I built and the principles that I followed. See, success is about getting in alignment with right principles and right laws to be successful. I call it the Audit Principle. I've since written the book, The Audit Principle. Would love to have you read it. Click and join this YouTube channel. Pick up a copy of The Audit Principle because it gives you the roadmap, whether it's building a company, whether it's overcoming adversity. And I'd love to walk this journey out with you.